American Numismatic Association. You're here talking about it. Can you tell us about your new book?
Absolutely, be happy to do it. It's been something that I've worked on for years. It's something that I've always wanted to do. If you've never done a book before, it's one of those things that you realize halfway through that it is a huge undertaking. But I think the result of our efforts is something really fantastic. It's a book that draws the parallels between United States history and all of the coins that were struck along the way. The front is great because this is the drafting of the Declaration of Independence, and the coin that's featured on here is the most valuable coin ever made in my home state of Louisiana, the 1844 proof eagle. They only made a single coin at the New Orleans Mint. And so going back to 1776 all the way to current day, it's basically a 192-page read of just over 200 years of our history. And a lot of great images, historical photos, and a lot of great historical images of important things and beautiful photos of coins.
And you work with the American Numismatic Association and have done a lot of things for them. What's the value, what's the point of being involved with A&A?
I want to pay the hobby back. Coins have done so much to me in my lifetime. One of the earliest memories I have was when I was just a kid. I was 7 years old, and I remember my grandmother giving me a coin that she had saved during the Great Depression. So in my life, I knew what I wanted to do just as a little kid. And so the hobby has done so much for me, and if there's a way that I can make, small payments, is the way that I see it, back to the hobby that has done so much. It's been the guiding light of my life in many, many ways. And so I get a real kick and thrill out of sharing it with other people, and especially young collectors, because if they embrace coins and the hobby the way I did, they can learn so much. My knowledge of history wouldn't be near what it is today unless I'd have coins that were tangible links. And so when I see tangible links of history, I mean, at 10 years old, if you came over to my house, I'd show you an Indian head cent, and I'd tell you what was going on in that time period. When we studied the Civil War, as a kid, I could cut somebody's grass for $5, and I could afford to go buy a coin, although not a real high-end coin, but from the Civil War time period. And so it's always something real and tangible that I've loved, and it's carried me, throughout my 38 years of life.
And how would you counsel someone to get involved in coin collecting?
Read as much as you possibly can. Learn as much as you possibly can. Spend money after you spend the money on knowledge. Spend the money on coins afterwards. And to me, the real thrill is learning all the history that goes along with each coin. And that's what my book tells you. I mean, every little story that I've learned throughout my life, I've jotted them all down, and I said, we're going to have, it's kind of like a double-layered pizza. And what I mean by that, you have your standard layer, which is just basic U.S. history, and then the layer on top, I guess the equivalent of the pepperonis would be the numismatic stories that go along with it. And so I really think that anybody that buys the book and goes through it will absolutely love it. And if you're a seasoned numismatist, a lot of those stories you might already know, but there's a lot of details that perhaps you may not remember that are cataloged in the book.